You gotta apply the work. The most important thing that I've learned in the past few years is this. It doesn't matter how much personal development work you've done, how many workshops you've attended, trainings, courses, masterminds. It doesn't matter how many inspirational posts you share, books you've read, or podcasts you've listened to. None of it means shit if you don't apply it. Doesn't mean jack. It doesn't mean anything unless you apply it. APPLY. It. So if you've done some personal development work, self-improvement on yourself so you can create more empowered and fulfilling relationships for yourself in life. And the real question is, are you applying it? Are you applying what you've learned? Are you putting it into practice? Are you walking the walk, talking the talk, or are you just saying you are? Are you pretending? Are you deluding yourself? Because this was me for many, many years. Have you made the commitment to yourself to actually, really, truly apply what you've learned, to apply what you now know? Not just learning it, not just knowing it, applying it. Because that is a very different thing. It's called the law of use. If you learn something and don't apply what you've learned, you may as well never have learnt it. This dropped like the truth bomb it is when I first heard it. Why? Because I wasn't doing it. I wasn't applying what I'd learned. I would go and do these huge, life-changing, absolutely transformational workshops and retreats and training, and the very next week, I'd be straight back in my shit, and my reactions, and my triggers, and my dysfunction. At believing my thoughts and feelings were real, believing what I was making them mean, indulging them, as if I'd never done the work in the first place, as if I'd never read the life-changing information that is in the Empowered Emotion ebook, the one that brought you to this very email. No one had taught me the law of use. No one had taught me how to actually apply the stuff that I'd learned, and the massive difference between knowing it and actually applying it. And there is a massive difference. So this is what this video is all about. It's about applying what you've learned. And if you haven't really done any self-development work, then I'm even more excited for you, because man, have you landed in the right place. The work we do in the way of the wolf pack teaches you how to engage your will, how to develop your will. And this is what you need if you're going to apply what you learn, so that you don't end up doing a bunch of stuff that you are told is going to help you, that you believe is going to help you, and put it down, right? Let it go. Not put it into practice and actually have it create real change in your life. Tangible change, long-lasting change that you can see and experience. Now, I still remember the day that my first ever coach tried to get me to see that my thoughts and feelings weren't real. And I got it. I mean, it made so much sense. The way we're conditioned as humans, the way we are in our subconscious mind 95% of the time, that it is that's running the show and not what is actually happening in the present moment. which is the reason why we are so stuck in our reactions, because they come from our past hurts, our past upsets, and we're just replaying them over and over and over and over again. The race of human beings, right, is full of societies and communities that have largely been conditioned out of their will. Yeah, we are will-less. And think about it, when we're kids, we are taught not to use our will, not to stand up for ourselves, not to speak up for ourselves, not to say what we really think. We're taught to not do what we really love, to not dress how we'd really like to. We're not taught to have strong boundaries or really own what we want. We are very quickly conditioned out of using our will by our parents, who were doing the best they could, trapped within their own cycles of the past. Parents these days say they want to raise kids that become assertive and confident and courageous and independent and sovereign, driven adults. Ones that really go for and experience life, ones that engage their will. They have strongly developed and powerful will centers. But they don't want willful children. They don't want willful children. Can you see the problem here? Right? The old seen and not heard mentality still prevails in the unconscious of most parents parenting. Do as I say, not as I do. Right? Controlling behavior that stifles the will of the child, because having will was not okay for most of us growing up. Saying the truth was not okay. Go and give your Aunt Jenny a hug. I don't want to give Aunt Jenny a hug. She smells like wee. Even if it's the truth, it wasn't okay to say it. Don't say that. Because this was the reality that most of us grew up in as kids. We learned to contract back in, to make ourselves small, and our brightness faded. Our power dissolved, and we become victims of our lives and everything in it, rather than the powerful creators that we are. And this is what using our will out there in the world is all about. So when I get the question, but how do I know it will work? From the people who are wanting to come into a workshop or a program or a training or coaching, I say this: you won't know until you try. And I know the reason why the stuff I did in the past wasn't working. I know the reason why the stuff my clients had done in the past before finding this work wasn't working. Because they weren't applying it. I wasn't applying it. So I've told you about the Way of the Wolfpack Level 1 Connection with Self program. What I haven't told you is one of the biggest reasons why I created it. Because I was meeting so many people out there in the world who had done a shit ton of work on themselves, trying to develop as a human. Yet they were still really struggling in their everyday lives relating with other people, even though they'd done all this work, spent all this time and money. And they were still cycling in their patterns, still reacting, still not enjoying the life they want to have, and still not getting what they want. And I wanted to know why. And when I really listened for the answer, I got this program. Because what I saw is that people were not able to successfully apply what they'd learned. And there was something missing in the transformational work out there, including my own, which meant that a lot of people diving into it weren't able to really apply it. And then they'd end up on this perpetual treadmill of doing more and more courses, more programs, more training, more, becoming absolute workshop junkies on this never-ending quest for the answer and never finding it, because no one taught them the law of use. No one empowered them with the knowledge around the engagement of our will. And how most of us had our will well and truly extinguished at a very early age. And I teach that in this program to a group that is committed to strengthening and developing the engagement of their will so they can apply the incredible work they do. I am so proud of this program. And the reason I created it is because it's the first step to take before doing any kind of personal development. Or it's the one to come back to if you've done a whole bunch and it ain't been working for you. This is the step you missed. And it's here for you now. So take a deep, satisfying breath, my beautiful friend. Because if you sign up to do this, your life is about to transform. So right here, you need to make a choice. The first choice is to do nothing. And if you choose to do nothing, nothing changes. Everything stays exactly how it is. Relationship and life, Groundhog Day. But if you know it's true for you, if you know that your relationships are everything in this life as a human, then the choice is obvious. Join us inside the way of the wolf pack and start your transformation to becoming the relationship magician you know you're meant to be. That is what the way of the wolf pack is all about. So what do you reckon? Was that a good answer to that question? Yeah, I'd love to hear what you think.